The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
Man, today sucks.
Why?
Because there's just baseball on. There's nothing else on.
Watch some baseball,
We had
man.
baseball, we had basketball.
There's definitely hockey on, just for the record.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And last week we had the Masters, which was awesome, which I know we'll get into later. And it's just like today it's like detox. It's like,
Time to get some work done, man.
cool. Phillies are playing the Nationals. Awesome. All right. Yeah, I guess time to get some work done.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Do some chores.
I think the Golden Knights play tonight, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned the Masters, and Rory McIlroy won his first green jacket over the weekend. He went into the final day with a 2-shot lead. Bryson DeChambeau to end that round on Saturday, that long putt on 18, that was epic. And I was like, okay, he's within striking distance. Is Bryson DeChambeau going to do it again? What he did at Pinehurst at the U.S. Open, is he going to
Nope.
is he going to screw Rory McIlroy? And is Rory McIlroy going to choke this away? And the green jacket was the last part of the it was the last infinity stone for Rory McIlroy. Like he has accomplished so much in golf, but he needed that green jacket to complete the career Grand Slam.
Sixth player in the history of golf to have the career Grand Slam.
Guys like Ben Hogan, Gary Player.
I don't know if was Hogan one of them.
Yep,
Was
Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods.
Yeah. The thing about Tiger is he just did it all in 1 year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He
But,
did again.
But yeah, I was wondering, are you Mac? Are you like? Do you know what you do? Like, do you know that sometimes you do things that may appear to be a troll, but maybe you don't actually intentionally mean to do it, but you're doing it?
No, what I do?
So we got Rory McIlroy. This guy has been 17 years of chasing this one major and it's been like the missing piece to his career. And you saw the raw emotion afterwards. And our guy Justin Spears rolls in today on Spears and Ollie with a Tiger Woods hat, just to remind him, good job, but you're still not better than somebody else that I know. Do you know that you do that or no?
Yeah, all decked out in a Jordan outfit after LeBron wins
Yeah.
an NBA championship.
Yeah.
You should have come in like tartan, I guess.
Huh?
You should have come in like plaid and everything.
Oh man, like what? Like Ben Hogan?
Well, he's Irish, isn't he?
Oh,
I was just thinking, if the only thing missing right now from his outfit, if he wore a red Nike shirt too, like a polo shirt, he never wears a polo shirt.
Monday Red, man.
Yeah.
It's a Monday Red kind of day.
I find it a little bit humorous. I know you don't you're not thinking about it, but I
No.
think subconsciously you are the greatest troll of all time.
Heck yeah,
Yes.
I take pride in that.
Why? You're such a bad person.
I know.
That's a bad person.
You compared me to Eric Cartman
yes.
a couple weeks ago, and I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe you're right, Ollie. Maybe you are right.
He is like
Eric Cartman from South Park.
Yes, you are. You got some Cartman-esque traits for sure.
But man, that was awesome to see Rory McIlroy. I mean, it looked like he was going to choke it away, and Justin Rose sent it into a playoff hole. And I'm like, oh, come on, Rory, come on. And then for him to line up for that 4-foot putt and watch it drop, and as soon as that ball went into the cup, to see him fall to his knees, like you could see just the weight be fully released, and Rory McIlroy was just like, oh my gosh, I finally freaking did it. And it was such a genuine and authentic moment. And to see that kind of emotion come out of someone, a guy who's been so close so many times. Like you said, Ollie, he's been chasing it for 17 years.
Gotten so close many times. Right?
That's quite a journey to get to that point. And the Masters is that just crown jewel of all golf tournaments. And you are not considered one of the greatest of all time until you got that green jacket. And now with Rory McIlroy finally completing that Grand Slam, we've already discussed him as being, one of the top golfers of his generation. And, I know this might be recency bias and it's kind of a, that typical reaction after a big event like this. But now, Rory just knocked himself up another notch in terms of the all-time greats in golf.
Yeah, he's achieved something only 5 other golfers have ever achieved. So you give the man his due. And I just so I thought DeChambeau, especially when I saw the story that he was the house that he rented, he was walking around and he saw some guys that rented a house around him that were just putting and like having a quiet little party, and he just joined them for an hour and putted. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. He's gonna have a good day. And that first hole, Rory doubled, and DeChambeau got a birdie, I think on 2, and so he's in the lead. I'm like, man, this is not looking good. But it was just I haven't been that nervous in a golf tournament like watching in a very long time. I was absolutely pulling for Rory, not just because if he won, he would have won me an extreme amount of money, and he did. So I love him, but just the ups and the downs and the 11 where you've got just that gap wedge and you put it in the creek and you don't even make it to the to the green. It's a little chip shot for a pro of that stature. How do you put it in the creek from 120? And then he's got a 4-stroke lead, and then he gets that double on 11, and then he's got a stroke lead it goes into 18, and he puts it in the sand and bogeys to force the playoff. And then in the playoff, he's got almost the same second shot. And here's the difference in golf. Golf is like, he said it too. In fact, I was like, oh, that's exactly the same shot he had on 18 going in. And Chris, I was sitting next to Christina. She was like, actually, it's like 2 feet over. And I think it's a flatter lie. And then the announcer said the same thing. And I'm like, mm-hmm. But it's like almost the same shot. And then to put it within 3.5 feet of the cup after Justin Rose hit a great approach shot himself. And I think it should be said, man, Justin Rose, you now have a fan of me. Class dude. I love that he played beautiful golf. 66 yesterday. He's like, I definitely wanted to be the villain, but I'm happy for Rory. And it was a great Masters. it was like one of the most, it's up there. It's like when you're like, hey, what is the Masters you remember as being the most thrilling? That the 2025 edition is on the list.
Yeah. And also, hey, storylines. We love good storylines. It was Bernhard Langer's last Masters.
Yeah.
It was like his last trip there. And, it was just so cool to see all the different storylines, even some of the ones that were kind of embarrassing, like ASU golfer Jose Luis Ballester. I don't know if you heard about.
Everybody heard about it, man. First of all, you wear a hat. It's got Sun Devils upside down on your hat. Cool. That makes you cooler. But also, I think that the thought process of peeing in the creek. I can't remember what
near 13.
Near 13. That's not the most embarrassing, right, man? Sometimes you got to go. Low class move. Not something you do at the Masters for sure.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But to show the complete idiocracy of ASU and why it is an institution that should be relegated to junior high academic standards is when you go to the Masters, there is a set of rules that are very, very clear. They're out there. People know them. So the ASU coach caddied for him, went out there with him on Wednesday for a practice round, wore shorts, and they sent him home. You can't wear shorts on the course of the Masters. Now, for the kid, you peed in the creek, man, dumb move. You're a kid. I get it. Look, just don't do that again. The grown-ass coach knows you cannot wear shorts caddying out there and being on the course. And you did it anyway. Why? Because the rules don't apply to you, Sun Devils? So that guy is my buffoon of the week because
the ASU coach, not the guy, not Jose.
No, the ASU coach, because he got sent home. They're like, you need to come, you can go and you can come back, but you got to wear pants. That is like, of all places, like there's no questions about the rules. And like golf etiquette wise, I don't know if there's another tournament that sticks to that etiquette more than the Masters.
Yeah. I appreciate that peeing in the creek is somehow less of an absolute vile move than wearing shorts at Augusta.
They're wearing golf shorts.
mean, the dude is like, I mean, what are you gonna? I mean, real men pee their pants. But what I was saying is, I mean, the kid's in his early 20s, and he thought he could go there and just nobody would know. Now
at Augusta,
but what he did was he basically talked about it after his round. It's like, what are you doing? Like, just zip it, zip. I mean, so yeah, peeing in the creek, not a good move. Then talking about it, you just double down how worst move. But I get it, man. Sometimes the bladder's got a mind of its own. But for a guy that's the coach that knows there is a strict code of etiquette at the Masters, and it's like, I'll just wear shorts. Who's going to say anything? Dude, it's the Masters. Someone's going to say something. Yeah. What's wrong with you?
But also, like, the whole peeing thing, like, I feel like you have to understand, and I don't know, maybe they're not thinking about this when they're about to start their round, but hey, man, there's cameras everywhere. This is the Masters. Mm-hmm. You are going to be on national TV. You are going to be looked at every step of the way. People are going to have eyes on you. Maybe you should think about going to the bathroom before the round. Just
okay, Dad. It's like, have we all gone to the bathroom yet? Because we're going to be in the car for another 4 hours.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean, apparently he didn't think like that. So,
and the thing about the Masters is it's not like there's porta potties. I don't think there's a lot of porta potties at the Masters. It's like they have designated bathroom areas, and you'd never see them on camera. So I don't know. It's just, to me, yeah, I don't know. The coach thing was worse because it's like it could not be more clear. Like you're going to you're going to a very fine dining, and it's like, I'll wear a tank top. What are they going to say? It's like, dude, tank top and flip flops do not work here, bro. Yeah. This is
but peeing in the fountain at the gourmet restaurant is still not as bad.
Around the corner in the courtyard,
the big lion fountain in the courtyard. Yeah, that's totally okay.
Yeah. He's 20. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But the dad wearing the shorts.
But you get out of here with those flip flops.
Flip flops and tank tops. Yeah. Yeah. I don't get flip flops to me. Going to a restaurant in flip flops.
He says we're the
nobody
enigmas.
wants to see your feet, man. Just wear shoes. I don't understand the flip flop dude at restaurants. Like, what are you doing?
You're saying this at Margaritaville?
There's a time and place for everything. Know where you are.
Yeah.
Says the guy that was wearing Crocs until he got called out. Yeah. You don't wear Crocs around me. Did you go wear Crocs yesterday when you were judging the chocolate factory contest?
No.
Okay.
It does sound like Ali is peed in some fountains, though.
It's right.
I just understand that sometimes. Hey, wait till you guys get older. Yeah.
You see, wait till you get older. This kid is 21 years old.
Yeah. I know, but I'm just saying, like, you guys have never peed someplace where you're like, I just cannot hold it anymore.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying that. It's just never been at the Masters.
No, you don't do that. Okay, I get it. To me, the coach was worse. That's my opinion. That's one man's opinion.
Doing it 13th at Dorado on Speedway.
Yeah.
Not 13th at Augusta National.
Yeah.
You put some respect on Dorado.
Oh, I love Dorado. And Dorado, don't get me in trouble. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I had to go.
It's my favorite bush.
I really had to go.
I thought it was summer rates. Not for you,
Mr. Spears.
Summer rates. Not for you, Mr. Spears. We heard the Dorado bashing. By the way, way to wear a Tiger Woods hat the day after Rory McIlroy wins the Masters.
Shout out to Rory McIlroy, making history, finally winning his green jacket. Now, I am curious to see what that Masters menu is going to look like next year.
Haggis.
Lots of potatoes. All right, coming up next.
You guys are ridiculous.
All right, we're going to talk about Arizona women's basketball hiring Becky Burke. The Becky Burke era is officially underway. She had her introductory press conference on Friday. We're going to talk about that coming up next. Spears and Ali back here on ESPN Tucson, 1490 AM, and the Spears and Ali podcast. Check us out on Spears and Ali YouTube. Subscribe today. We're getting our subscribers up, guys.
Good.
I sent out the bat signal on Twitter the other day. No, seriously, we appreciate you guys. I was at this Taste of Chocolate event yesterday with Andrew.
Yeah. At
the Doubletree Hotel, where I ate a bunch of sweets. It was really amazing. Shout out to the Rotary Club for hosting this great event.
It's fantastic.
Ran into a couple of folks that listened to our radio show yesterday that are vendors and also people that were just out there trying out the sweets. So we appreciate all the support that we get. on the live show from 7 to 9 a.m. But we're also chopping up some clips from our live show, and we're posting it on YouTube. So if you've got a smart TV, if you got a smartphone, everyone's got those. Go to YouTube, look up Spears and Ali, and then please subscribe today. We're trying to get our numbers up on our YouTube page. So if you could support us on YouTube, that would mean the absolute world to us. So Spears and Ali YouTube, make sure you subscribe today. All right, so Arizona women's basketball officially announced Becky Burke as the new head coach last week. And Becky, she's coming in from Buffalo, where she was the conference coach of the year, and she's won everywhere she's been at. I mean, she's been at College of Charleston, USC Upstate. She started the Embry-Riddle women's basketball program back in 2016, and she's won there. I mean, and she's had minimal resources along the way. Now, the one thing about Becky that makes her situation very interesting is that, she's got a lot of room to work with, because she's got to add a bunch of players, because 10 of them entered the portal after this last season. So she's got to continue to add players. So she's hit the ground running. They've already added transfer portal addition, a guard from Buffalo, but she still has many more to go. And Becky was asked during her introductory press conference what she's looking for in prospects that she's recruiting for the portal.
Yeah, I think obviously we're just looking for high character, high talent level, and I don't think you can, there's a certain framework right now in the world of the transfer portal. We need to get obviously very, very talented players, but they have to be the right character. They have to be wired like we want our players wired here. They have to be in pursuit of championships. They have to be great students, so there's such a broad spectrum of players in the portal right now, and where they come from and why they're in there. And I couldn't give you here's exactly what they need to look like answer. We vet them, we build those relationships. We make sure that they're the right people for our staff, for our program, for this community and this university.
Ali, what do you think about what she's got to do in the next couple of weeks?
It's a monumental task, man. I mean, she has 2 women on the roster right now. She's got to, we talked about this a little last week. We want to focus on the sports aspect. I'll get there in a second, but just think about the human aspect. She's got to move her entire life from the East Coast to Tucson, Arizona, her and her family. And then, and that goes like, I got to sell a house. I got to buy a house. I got to get everything moved over here. She has a young child with her partner, Savannah. So they've got to kind of uproot their life. So that's the human aspect. That's hard for anybody, right? Then on top of that, you got to get a coaching staff. Now you got to be good at your job. I got to get coaches around me that are going to help teach and help recruit. I've got, Arizona I think, great job, $900,000 pool for hiring assistants. So she should be able to attract some good assistants, at least from an economic standpoint. But you got to get the right people that fit her culture and her mission. And then you got to build the roster. And so she is, what I call juggling water right now. I mean, it is.
I like that a lot.
That's a really good analogy.
Yeah. I mean, she's got a monumental task in front of her. I'm rooting for her. Everything I've heard about her, everything I've heard from her, I'm very excited for her to be in Tucson and at the U of A. And so wish her the very best.
All right, let's play the next clip on from Becky Burke's introductory press conference. So she talked about what fans can expect. Andrew, yes, I did send that to you.
It's right there.
I'm
Oh,
looking
geez.
at it, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a
I was
professional.
like, sorry.
Yeah. Pay attention.
You're right. I do need to pay attention. My apologies, Andrew. You're on it.
Good thing that you didn't just get hired as the women's basketball coach.
I know.
From Buffalo, because you would have ended up in Fresno.
Man, I'm sleeping big time.
Yeah.
All right. So what can fans expect from Arizona women's basketball under Becky Burke's direction? Here's what she said.
The top 1% of competitive people on the planet. Okay. That comes down to winning national championships or eating dinner. I mean, it doesn't. I don't turn it off. I don't know anything different. So that's one. You're getting a high level competitor. I'm the same way as a coach as I was as a player. You can go back and watch the film of me on the court. It's going to look very similar to what it looks like on the sideline. Secondly, no one will ever outwork me. I am going to be the hardest worker in the room, every room I walk into, and I take a tremendous amount of pride in that. And no one's ever going to outwork us, because I'm hoping that our team takes a little bit of the personality that I have in terms of just work ethic, right? And then I think the last thing, the key thing that people need to know about me and what I'm promising you guys that I'm going to bring here is I have one speed, and that's full speed. I have one speed, that's full speed, and I have one way, and that's all in. We're going to hit this thing, the ground running. We already have full speed and all in.
I am also a very competitive person at dinner time as well. When I'm at the dinner table, I'm also very competitive.
And breakfast and lunch. Yeah, you've got it all. You've got it covered from start to finish.
But I've
got him beat on brunch though.
But I love to hear what Becky Burke talked about as far as being a grinder and being competitive. And that's the kind of person that Arizona needs leading this program. And, I give a ton of credit to Adia Barnes, and we'll talk about Adia here in just a second because she had some very interesting things to say over the weekend.
It's part of my 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. All right. But she, she did such a great job of building up the foundation of Arizona women's basketball. She got the foundation, and then everything else after the foundation didn't really work out. And I think if Becky Burke can get her foundation this year, what she is, because this team that's coming up here, this is a Becky Burke team. It's not like, it's a Brent Brennan Jet Fish situation where she's coming in and it's just kind of trying to keep everything together and doing whatever she can to retain players. No, she's going to come in and she's going to make her stamp on this program. And I think if she can have some success in year one, whatever that is, I'm not saying that, Arizona women's basketball is going to be so phenomenal under Becky Burke. We just don't know. Right. But I feel like if she can give some hope and her players play hard and there's a fun product on the court, and more importantly, there's no drama in that locker room. The culture is good. I know culture is a word that's
there's 2 players
thrown around a lot
right now, so we'll see.
Hopefully exactly.
We haven't seen it in her past. Her past teams have not. I don't know of any history of drama with the teams that she has coached or led.
But even if they don't have a good year, right? Let's say they do struggle on the court. If you're competitive, right, and you show signs of growth, the players play hard, and on top of that, there's no drama. Like I said, they want to play for Becky Burke, and there's no just weird culture. The chemistry isn't off. Then I think that's a really good sign for Becky Burke, and I think we'll see that.
I hope so, man. I mean, my advice to my friends that become, high school head coaches or football coaches, or people that I meet that get the head coaching job at the U of A, or people that start their own businesses, is the same: is don't try to be anybody else but yourself. And this is your legacy. This is no one else's legacy. Don't let people talk you into things that don't align with your core beliefs and your core identity. And, while, you want to take in information from people, because the more you do that and incorporate people and engage them, I think the better your organization is as a whole. Don't try to be anybody else. And so what I would tell Becky Burke is, Coach, this is your legacy. This is your program. This is your team. I don't care who was here yesterday. I don't have any interest in who's here tomorrow. Today, this is your organization. So you make it identify with who you are, and let the chips fall where they may. And then that way, no matter what happens, you can say, look, I did it the way I felt that was right. I did it my way. I did it a way that's consistent with who I am in my core. Then you've got nothing to be ashamed about. You've got nothing to look back on with regret. You did it the way you gave it everything you had, and you did it the way that you thought would be successful, and then let it fly. So
yeah, build your legacy.
Build your legacy.
Be yourself. Pee in that fountain.
That's the theme of this hour.
Bring it back. I'm just saying, man, you put the 2 things together, it just shows the buffoonery of, the school up north, It's like, Coach, it's like on the rule sheet. Like, you don't wear shorts at the Masters when you're on the course caddying. You don't see caddies with shorts.
So then you can say you did it your way.
Yeah. It's clown.
This ain't Burger King, man.
It's not.
Nobody's getting busy.
I know you're going to talk about this at the top of the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But I got to just say something on this.
Sure.
So, while Becky Burke was introduced as Arizona women's basketball head coach, SMU also introduced Adia Barnes. And Adia said, I don't know if it was during her introductory press conference or if it was like in a media scrum, but she said, and I quote, if you look across the country, if you look at all the recent hires, they've all hired mid-major underqualified people because they don't really care. And to say that after Arizona hires Becky Burke, and Adia, she went out on Twitter and apologized and gave this whole Twitter thread about like, oh, I didn't fully mean that. It was kind of taken out of context, or I didn't fully explain myself. And here's my thing. Listen, I love Adia. She's always been great to me. But are you apologizing for what you said, or are you apologizing because of the backlash?
The latter. Because a lot of coaches came out. It wasn't just like the, Twitter Tim sitting in his basement.
Oh, man, Twitter Tim.
Yeah.
I hate him.
No. There were a lot of coaches across the country that had very sharp words for Adia Barnes.
And deservedly.
And deservedly so. And she meant every word she said, and she was talking about the University of Arizona. And so, I mean, I won't talk about this in 8 o'clock hour, but
I want you to.
Did we underachieve under Adia Barnes if you don't take into account Ari McDonald? I mean, think about the recruiting classes. Whoa. Think about, the great players that played here. I'm thinking like Sam Thomas and how those teams did.
By the way, she was at Becky Burke's press conference. That was cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
You think about, was your legacy made on one player's back? And I don't know why we can't talk about it. And frankly, I'm going to save it for the 8 o'clock hour. It will be part of Bad and Ugly. It's just, you're just not here anymore. So be there. Just go be there. You left. Be there. You're not here. But you can't help it. And if I could give Coach Barnes, I had a friendship with Adia too. And I'm not going to text her or do anything because she's not here. Get off social media. And while she was here, she was scouring social media, and any comment that was made, she would like take to heart. Like, get rid of your burner account. Get rid of your social media, because you know what? Your social media has never done you any good.
Yeah.
So stop reading things and stop everything you're doing. All the whispers about really how the program was in the background, absent those 2 years. On the back of one player, you're proving them right.
It's giving me bitter X energy. You're upset about how the relationship ended, and you're always going to figure out ways to take shots at your past relationship, even when you guys are in better situations.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like the athletic director of U of A, it's like you've been asked the question, like a lot of guys are asked, is like, how much did your divorce cost? And it's like, it doesn't matter, worth every penny. Some guys say that. I don't know, but I can see top administrators at U of A going, how much did it cost you to separate from Adia? Worth every penny. That's my only answer. No more comments.
All right, coming up next, what do you think about Becky Burke and the start of her tenure at the University of Arizona? What do you think about just the latest with U of A basketball? Evan Nelson joining the Arizona Wildcats. Yes. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all things Arizona football, but we'd love to hear from you guys. 719-1490 is that phone number, 719-1490. We got more Spears and Ali coming up next. Spears and Ali back on ESPN Tucson. Man, I can't wait for the Meet the Chefs event coming up here later on May 18th at Desert Diamond Casino's Diamond Center. It's going down from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. You can enjoy an evening of food tastings and beer samplings, and all the food samples are prepared by the chefs who are competing for a chance to be in that Iron Chef Tucson competition in July. Go get your tickets and more information by going to ironcheftucson.com.
Yeah. And then hang out at the Desert Diamond Casino. Maybe get a room. It's fun. It's a good time. Seriously.
Yeah. When's the last time you've been to Desert Diamond Casino out in Sahuarita?
I don't know. I think it was like 6 months ago. I think we had an event there and we got a room and stayed the night. It was fun.
Heck yeah.
I just really enjoyed it.
They got some decent concerts there too.
Yes.
They got some good artists that come by from time to time. All right, let's take your phone calls here. 719-1490. Our guy Tom is joining us today. Good morning, Tom. What's on your mind?
Hi, this is not a big thing, and it's not anything to do with U of A. I was wondering, maybe you guys know somebody who knows somebody who can fix something. I listen to the Diamondbacks sometimes. Kind of embarrassing that I still listen to baseball, but at the end of the games, Garagiola always says, okay, join us tomorrow at 5 o'clock. That's 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But it's not Pacific Standard Time. It's Pacific Daylight Time or Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah.
He gets it wrong every day, and I yell at my car radio. So,
Tom, first of all,
it's not that hard.
Do not be embarrassed of listening to baseball on the radio, because I think it's still one of the coolest ways to take baseball is by doing it on the radio.
Absolutely.
I love baseball on the radio. Second, we do know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy. We are definitely going to pass that along. You are completely right in being annoyed by that, because get your facts straight, man. We're not on Pacific time anymore. And you're in Arizona. So don't act like you're in some other time zone and don't understand that Arizona just follows daylight savings time. So now I'm annoyed,
Okay,
and we're going to be making calls.
I have a question for you really quick.
Yeah.
What's the only state in which the entire state doesn't go on daylight saving time?
Ooh.
It's us, isn't it?
It's not Arizona,
Nevada?
because Navajo Reservation goes on daylight saving time.
Ah,
Oh.
I got the
Wow.
first letter right. So
Hey, Tom, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in. We'll make sure to
This
give
is
that
Hawaii.
yeah.
Oh, it's Hawaii.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, Hawaii. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, my man.
All right.
All right.
I'll
Have a
see
great
ya.
week. I was like, man, so if I was on Wheel of Fortune, I would have gotten that meow next
Yeah.
to spin the wheel. There was one I saw one clip of Wheel of Fortune, and it was like something of Achilles.
Mhm.
Like Achilles was the last word. All the letters were in there. He just had to solve it by reading,
Yeah.
and he called it Achilles.
Yeah.
And they're like,
oh, man.
wow. And the next lady's like, I think I would like to solve. This poor I think it was a student from Indiana. So Indiana, you gotta work on your humanities
Come on,
program.
A child? What did he say?
Yeah.
Achilles?
Achilles. instead of
Achilles?
like, yeah, the spear of Achilles. It was like something like that. And it was like, dude, you probably read that book in like junior year of high school, like Roman, and Achilles was Roman. So
What kind of name is H-Hills? I don't get it.
H-Hills.
Yeah. Well, it's like the first time I moved back to Tucson, and I was going to like the El Conquistador for a golf tournament or something. But back then, you had to print out the directions. It wasn't just
Ooh, MapQuest.
MapQuest, right?
You had to dust off the old
Yeah.
charts.
And
Measure the wind.
and I'm like calling my secretary, and I'm like, I don't understand. You sent me this thing. You wrote out the directions. You keep telling me I got to take a right on La Cañada, and I just keep passing this Canada Street all the time. I don't see any Cañada. Well,
Were you looking for like
I didn't pee in a fountain. It was like
KENYADA?
QUI.
Okay.
Yeah, Cañada. I don't know, but
Like quinoa.
yeah, both the food. I never thought. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Tucson named a street after the country to the north, Canada. We have Canada Street. Interesting.
Was there a word that you've always pronounced it wrong, and then later on in life, someone corrected you on it?
I think we've done that on this show.
Yeah,
actually.
many times.
But I think it's been the opposite. It's been Justin who's mispronounced.
Oh, yeah, that's
Well,
what I'm saying.
You used to say Chipotle wrong.
Oh,
You might
Chipotle.
still.
Chipotle.
You're a
Yeah.
Chipotle guy.
I am a Chipotle guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just say I still to this day. It's Chipotle, not Chipotle.
I used to say
See, it's like difficult for you to even say.
I don't. It doesn't sound right.
Chipotle.
It doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth at all.
Oh, by the way, I want to get your
Tried
thoughts
their
on
new
this.
barbecue brisket, by the way.
It's pretty good. I want to get your thoughts on this, Ali. Actually, you know what? Let's take a quick commercial break. We want to take your phone calls here, 719-1490, 719-1490. Let's talk about Evan Nelson joining the Arizona Wildcats and also talk some U of A football coming up next. Arizona basketball adding Tucson native Evan Nelson to its roster. Arizona's got its backup point guard. Now, what's left for the Arizona Wildcats? Well, I think maybe Carter Bryant announcing his decision to come back. Maybe that's what's next. And if Carter Bryant does come back to Arizona, And again, that's a big if. I know some people, when they saw our segment last week talking about Arizona's roster after adding Braden Burries, people are like, wait, is Carter coming back? Do we know this for a fact? Like, there's still a possibility that he does go to the NBA draft. But man, if you add in a guy like Carter Bryant back into the mix, and then you have all these other pieces like Koa Pete and Mo Krivas and Jaden Bradley and Braden Burries, and then Evan Nelson, I like this addition a lot because he's a guy that knows his role with this Arizona basketball team. I mean, he was nearly averaging double figures last year at Harvard. He is a guy who's a really good just overall basketball player and a facilitator. And if we're talking about the backup point guard role, I would actually prefer to have a guy like Evan Nelson, who's got a little bit more length than a guy like Conrad Martinez. I love Conrad. Don't get me wrong. I love the personality that he brings. But if we're just talking about from a pure skill set standpoint, Evan Nelson is a nice addition for Arizona. And, this guy's just winning at life, Ali, because this guy, he got a degree from Harvard. He graduated from Harvard.
What was that accent?
It's like my sophisticated accent, right?
You sound very sophisticated when you do it. So, well done.
Doesn't sound like you were choking on mashed potatoes at all.
He got a degree from Harvard, and now he's about to play for the dream school, the Arizona Wildcats. Evan Nelson, you're winning at life, man. Very envious of you. Congrats.
Yeah, and by the way to use the word envious, which is the correct way to use it, versus jealousy, because jealousy deals with people, envious deals with things and situations. So well done by you.
Thank you.
I mean, look, Evan Nelson, all-time great, Foothills Charger, who got coached by one of the really good ones here in town. Played with my son Xavier. I remember to this day, like trying to beg his dad to let him continue to play football because he was a really good receiver. And he's like, nah, basketball is his way. And it turned out that was a really good decision. Over 40% from three at Harvard. So he can shoot it. He's a good facilitator. He's a great kid. And it's a great pickup by Tommy Lloyd and the coaching staff to get Evan back to Tucson. And I think he's going to do really well here. Can kind of fill that Jordan Gainey role that Jordan filled for Tennessee this year. So we'll see again on paper. And as far as Carter Bryant goes to him, I think, again, right now the intention is to come back, but who knows? There's still a lot of trying to figure out where he may end up if he went to the NBA draft, where he would end up. And it only takes one team to fall in love with him. I mean, we don't even have the draft lottery. We don't even know who's got pick 1 through 12 yet. But when we know that, if there's a team 1 through 12 that says, Carter, we love you, and I'm giving guarantee your agent and you that we will select you with our pick if you're still there, then you actually just pat the kid on the back and say, congratulations, man. Thanks for coming to Arizona. Good luck. I think another year at Arizona, developing his mid-range game, developing his dribble, and being able to get to the basket, because his stature, his body, if he can kind of get a little better at that, he's going to be really hard to stop. If he can be a guy that can take it to the hoop. So I think another year of development is actually in his best interest from a basketball perspective, but it's hard to turn down that I'm going to be one of the top 12 picks in the draft.
And I feel like if this was 5 years ago, then I'd probably say Carter Bryant's more likely to go to the NBA draft because teams love to draft on upside and potential, right? But now with the way college athletics is, I feel like it's more enticing for a guy like Carter Bryant to stay at a program like Arizona, because as far as like the pie goes with Arizona basketball players, he's probably going to be probably one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid guy for the Wildcats next year.
Yeah, I don't have any information to share there, but I just would say that it's all probabilities are you might not make quite as much as you would in the NBA, but you're going to be making pretty close to what you'd be making in the NBA. And the only reason you'd want to go now is so that you'd be eligible for your second contract 1 year earlier, right? So at 19, you'd be eligible at 22, 23. And that extension is the one where you make life-changing money. But from a pure basketball development standpoint, and I think, Carter comes from a really good background. His parents really get it. And they know this is not, there's a process. And if you trust the process and you commit to the process, and more importantly, you love the process, then he's got a chance to be more successful at the next level. So that's why I lean towards him most likely coming back, because yes, you achieved your lifetime dream of being in the NBA. Are you prepared to be successful there? I think another year in Arizona will help him be more successful, and that's really what we want in the long run.
Absolutely. All right, so Arizona football now turns its attention to the last week of spring ball. The spring showcase is on Saturday, and I'm very thankful that Arizona football decided to make the spring schedule the way it is, because last year it was like the last 2 weeks of practice. It was during the transfer portal period, and it was just every day, who's here, who's not, who's going to the portal, who's not. Oh, this guy's not here, but then he shows up at practice 30 minutes later. So I'm happy that Arizona's like, we're going to have one practice after the portal opens, and then we're going to have our spring showcase. As far as the portal goes and how many players are going to enter from Arizona, it's inevitable. You're right. There's going to be some guys that see themselves on the depth chart, see where they stand, and they want to explore their options. So expect guys to go into the portal. But as far as additions go for Arizona, I think probably center, if they want to go out and find a good center, because Chuba Ma'ai, while he did play center at Long Beach Poly, and they did move him over from nose tackle to offensive lineman, he was getting reps in at left guard. So maybe guard is a position that they're looking for big Chuba Ma'ai. But center, after having Josh Baker there as the mainstay for the last few years, I think getting a reliable guy that Noah Fafita can trust is going to be very important. And I think, the options there, like Grayson Stovall, Kaina DeCambra, the transfer from Hawaii, Issei Matautia, the transfer from New Mexico that came in last year. Like, those are guys that are getting rotated in. But, man, if you can have a better option at center and you can find that guy in the portal, by all means, you got to go out and get him. So I'd say probably center. I'm curious to see if they add anybody on the special team side of things, because, Craig Nivar, the new special teams coordinator, he came in. They haven't made any like kicker or punter additions since he's been hired. So maybe he goes in and finds a guy. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday.
We shall see.
Moving forward.
If you were a coach in this day and age that has that, so a lot of teams aren't even playing the spring game, right? Because they, we don't want guys that are making a lot of money to get hurt. Would you even have a depth chart coming out of spring practice, or just saying it's going to be, hey, we're determining it off what you did in spring, and between now and when the season starts, we'll have a depth chart when you guys come back?
It's fluid, man. It is so tough right now.